There, we got it. Okay, now it's recording. So if we lose you, I'll post it so you can watch it. Okay, so let's get started. So let's just introduce ourselves real quick. If you can see up here where it says project member introductions. I'm Scott, and I've been working with Toann. Actually, we started doing a code club here in Sasebo, Japan about 2 years ago. And then she went off to San Diego, and then I continued the club here. And then we stayed in contact. I'm a Navy spouse, so we're here in Sasebo, Japan until January. We're supposed to leave in November. We got extended a little bit. So I'll be here until January in Sasebo, and then we'll be moving back to the States. I am a Ruby on Rails, mostly Ruby on Rails programmer. So I spend a lot of time developing in Ruby. I actually kind of took the slow path. So I spent a lot of time just learning Ruby, and then now just kind of moving it into the Rails framework. So I've been like practicing programming for probably 3-4 years. But if you really take all the programming practice, I mean, I started doing HTML, CSS back in probably like 2007, 2008, and just playing with it. But I never took it serious until about 2-3 years ago. So I'm very new in that. So I think, like, as far as finding time to work on this project, I'm probably going to be mostly the weekends. So I'll be able to do a lot on the weekends, and then, if I find time during the week, because I actually just started working with a really awesome and experienced Rails developer, Chris Oliver, he runs a website called Go Rails, and he just invited me on a project with him. So that was real recent, just in the last week. So I'm kind of taking it as like a super opportunity. So I'm probably spend most of my week doing that, and then I'll work on MillSpouse Coders on the weekend, and hopefully we can build something cool there. And why do you want to work on this project? I think this is a really great way for both myself to learn, to get better at programming, because I think you learn more by teaching, right? So like kind of getting in this and having like a platform where we can build something cool for the spouses and all the military community. So, and I think Toann's done a really great job. She's really been persistent and worked hard at this, and finally starting to it's almost starting to like blossom, right? Like it's becoming something after a couple of years now. So it's really cool. Anyways, Amanda, do you want to try before you lose your connection?
Sure. So I'm Amanda, and I'm affiliated with the Air Force. My husband joined the military like 2 years ago. And currently, for the past 2 years since he joined the military, I've been teaching myself web development. Before that, I did software development, but it wasn't like web stuff. It was all desktop applications. We currently live in Georgia, like right in the middle, so there's not like a lot to do there, but it's okay. I'll probably work on this project during the week. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not like working right now, so that's when I'll be working on it. And I want to work on this project. I don't know. I wanted to start something like MillSpouse Coders, and I found out that it existed. I was like excited that someone was already on the process of getting it started, and so I'm just excited to work on a part of, I don't know, like on the new web
page. Yeah. Awesome. Miri, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. My name is Miri. I'm originally from Japan, Kyoto, and my name is sounds like it's Miri, but it's like Miri in Japanese.
Miri.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm currently working as a full-time web developer I'm currently living in Okinawa as a spouse to an Air Force. My husband is an Air Force, and I've been working as a web developer for like 4 years right now, as a mainly front end engineer. So I'm mainly using JavaScript and PHP for like Laravel, and some of the backend is using I'm using Node.js, but not really like that deep. And I will have some time on weekends because I recently got a puppy, so a box of puppy. So he's really I need to take care of him. So like during the weekends, weekdays, I'm so busy because I have a full-time job and taking care of my husband and the dog. And why do you want? I want to work on this project because I'm only work. I have only worked with Japanese engineers, and I want to like have more experience like working with like global engineers, and at the same time like I want to improve my English skill and also programming skill, and I'm currently looking for remote job because like I used to work in Tokyo as a web developer, and I met my husband in Okinawa, and we married, and then I moved to Okinawa from Tokyo. But I found Okinawa is kind of like countryside and tropical island, and I used to work in like a very big city in the Tokyo. So I want to work more. What can I say? More energetic, like I used to work in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm yeah. So and also I want to empower women with IT in the future. So I need to have more experience working with like global like engineers.
Yeah. Awesome. So, just real quick, thinking like working remotely, I just spoke with a friend of mine, has his buddy here from Australia. He's also a Rails developer.
Mm-hmm.
And he did say that Australia is desperate for developers. And the nice thing about Australia is they're only like a 1 hour difference in time zone from Japan.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it, but I'm going to be leaving back to the States in like 6 months. So it wouldn't be worth it for me to get an actual full-time job there. But that might be another opportunity for remote work if you're interested. Let's move on real quick here. I just want to kind of go over like a project description. Basically what the MillSpouse Coders website is. And to be honest, we don't, it's in its infancy, right? It's just in the beginning. So we don't really know what it's going to become yet. But at a minimum, it's a platform for prospective members or military spouse coders, members of our organization already, to kind of like go there to get the resources, to find out what events are going on. And it's kind of like a central hub. So I'm hoping like eventually like we can have links to like our Slack accounts and our Facebook and the resources and everything that we use to get better. It's going to be like here on this website. So people don't have to be like, oh, what was that Slack channel, or what was this, or how do I get to the Facebook page? I want it to be in one place so people can learn about us. And then as members, we can actually use that as like a launch pad to jump into all the other resources and things that we need. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what we're trying to build here. And I'm hoping it's not just like a simple like one-page website. I want it to be a deep like application where we can maybe have a technical blog where all the spouses all over the place can submit to this blog. And so there's a lot of things we'll have to go through, but at first we got to break it down, right, into small chunks. So let's just get something up there first, like a minimum viable product, and then we'll go from there. So of course, like, so the purpose of this meeting here, or the purpose of the kickoff, I just want to get us to introduce ourselves and learn so we can start working on a project. Otherwise, we're just going to sit there and look at a blank GitHub repository and not know what to do. So I'm hoping that, like, before we end here, we can at least have a little bit of direction and how we can communicate. So, because communication is going to be the hardest part, right? So, like, we're an international group, so we're in different places. We're remote. We're on different time zones. So that's going to be a big challenge that we're going to have to overcome. But it'll be good because we'll learn a lot. If I'm moving too quick, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to, like, stay within that time crunch. That time.
It's okay.
Okay. So yeah. So, like, right away, I wanted to talk about some key challenges, and feel free to chime in anytime. Like, anytime you have something to say or you have a question or anything. But some of the key challenges that I thought of just kind of putting this together was, this is the first time we're going to be working with each other. You know, it's always chaotic at first. Anytime you get with a new team, you're like, oh my goodness, and I don't know how to talk to these people, and I don't know what's going to offend them or not, or how we even going to work, or what questions I should ask. So I think that's going to be a challenge. Of course, being remote versus co-located. If we were all in the same office, we could get together and we could go out for coffee and we could have drinks and we could talk about what we're going to do. So remote work is always going to be more challenging, I feel. I experienced it. I worked for a remote company that was in Georgia, actually, for about 4 months, and the time zone difference and everything was a real challenge. So we got to figure out how to make that easier for us. And time zone difference is the other thing. So let's talk about, just real quick, just a simple overview. And these are just things that I've thought about so far, some goals and deliverables. One thing I want to do, and it might be a little aggressive because of our situation, but I'm hoping we can do it, is I want to deliver a minimum viable product by October 1st. So by October 1st, I want to have an initial something. It doesn't have to be much, but it needs to at least, in my opinion, it needs to at least be as good as what we have right now. Right. But built on the the platform that we want, which is hopefully Rails and then, of course, whatever we want to do on the front end. Midi, I know you're talking about learning React, so maybe we can even implement some React sometime in the near future. But that doesn't have to be something we have to implement by October 1st. Okay. Obviously, we want to have a reason to use it. We don't want to just use it just to use it. But so I want to offer basically all the current features that the site has right now. So it should have that, which isn't much. So I really think it is doable as long as we can get on the same page. And we can really crank out some stuff with the time we have. And then, of course, I'd like to add some features such as like member login and like maybe a tech blog. But this is something we have to discuss too with Toan and figure out if we want to have a tech blog on our website or if we want to just have like a Medium publication or something. I'm not sure what she wants to do with that. But I think it would be really cool for us to start blogging about what we're doing. Like, it would be cool to blog about this project, how we're getting together, our first meeting, like all this stuff would be cool blogging material for people that are wanting to join us. So they're not like nervous or scared. So I think that would be really cool. Everybody following so far? Good.
Hey, I have a question. Do we have like own server?
So right now we're probably going to be using, I'm imagining we're going to use like Heroku and deploy. I think that's just the easiest solution for Rails. Heroku supports Rails really well. And so that's my guess, but that's not set in stone. So there's definitely other options. We can deploy on private servers or we'll just see what works best. And that's something that we'll probably get with Toan to figure out, what she wants to do. So if you have any suggestions, then definitely bring them up. So talk about project plan a little bit. One of the things I want to make sure is that everybody knows how to use GitHub.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so I apologize if anybody went on there and looked at this project before yesterday. It's completely different. I completely wiped that project because I had this thought that it was built on Rails 5 and 5.0.3, I think. And I was like, you know what? I want to build this on the latest and greatest Rails, the most updated. And so I built it on Rails. I rebuilt it on Rails 5.1. And rebuilt it mean really, I didn't do much. I just reset up the app so the app is there, okay? But there's a lot of changes from Rails 5 to Rails 5.1. But I figured, you know what, we're going to build this new. We're going to be wanting to learn stuff to get better. So why not build it on the latest and greatest?
Yeah.
So hopefully that's not an issue.
I think it's fine, but wait, can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have like this template that I use sometimes to generate apps. And when I tried, and then it has like specs that go along with it. And when I tried to generate something on Rails 5.1 with all of my specs, they weren't passing. And I don't remember looking into it, but I remember, actually I did look into it, but I determined it was something like some of the gems in the Rails community weren't ready for 5.1 yet, I think, but I can't remember all the details of it. So I just thought I'd throw that out there, but
yeah.
I don't know when 5.1
was an issue.
Okay.
I mean, it's definitely going to be more of a challenge because, so there's some gems that don't work with 5.1 yet. So some of it we're either have to build them ourselves or, for example, like 5.1, like they've completely removed like jQuery. There's no jQuery dependencies or anything like that anymore. So if we want to use jQuery, we have to add it. There's quite a few. It might be, there's quite a few changes. So, we can pair up a little bit and like look into them and try to figure them out. It's going to be a challenge because it is so new and there's not as much documentation, and not as many blog posts and stuff about it. But I think that'll be fun. It'll be a fun challenge, hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't make us want to tear our hair out. That's possible. So, so basically what I want to do is I want everybody to feel comfortable. I try to invite each of you to that repository as contributors. Midi, I wasn't able to find you on GitHub. I tried to look up with your Gmail account, but I couldn't find it, and I wasn't able to get you on there.
Okay. My username, you can find people with username.
Okay. Yeah.
MIRI and 4, not number 4.
Yeah.
And ECH.
ECH.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to look you up there and get you on there. If not, I'll hit you up on Slack and you can, or maybe you can like put that in Slack just in case too. Okay. So I want everybody, like, anytime you have an idea, you want something fixed on the site, you want to add something, even if it's something you think you're going to add yourself, let's just submit an issue for it. I'd rather like over communicate even on GitHub and just like, hey, submit an issue. And if everybody's like, nah, I don't think we need that or whatever, we can discuss that on GitHub. So that way everybody gets to see like how this thing is being developed. And because there's going to be a history of it. So don't be afraid to like just post stuff, submit issues and whatnot. So anytime you're working on something or whatever, let's do that. This stuff might change too. If you guys are like, no, that's not working, then we'll figure it out as we go. We'll change. So also, if you're going to work on something, let's go ahead and like let everyone know that you're working on it by like commenting. Say, hey, I'm going to take this, or I'm working on this right now. That way we're not working on the same thing, So there's going to be lots of little pieces, and We just have to learn how to break those pieces down into smaller chunks and then say, hey, I'm gonna take this, and then we can let each other know. That way, a bunch of us could be working on different things, and then we could put it all together. Which that'll be the next challenge I have to figure out. But anyways, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And then, of course, submit a pull request when you finish a feature. One of the things I want to do, even though I built, I kind of got the initial setup done already, I would really like to implement to where when you submit a pull request, somebody else, it doesn't matter who, but anybody on the project needs to, I want them to go code review that. So basically you submit it, somebody else reviews your code, you guys can talk back and forth, and then as soon as you're like, yeah, let's do this. Like if you can get pretty much 2 people to say, yeah, this code's going to work, then we'll go ahead and we'll implement it and we'll commit it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? You think the best way for each of us to develop on it? Should we? You think it's best to fork the project?
Yeah.
Or just work off of branches, where you just create a branch, Amanda's branch or Meady's branch, and then you just kind of do it like that. What do you think?
How are we going to develop using issues on GitHub, or
yeah,
we're going to use a management tool like a Trello? Or
yeah, so I really like Trello, but I want to see if we can do this almost 100% on GitHub. GitHub has the projects now, and it's like Trello. It's definitely not as advanced as Trello, but if we can use GitHub maybe from the beginning and see how it works. Just to do the projects and the user stories, and then doing the issues. I think that's how I was kind of thinking that we could do it, just so we don't have so many places,
So we can connect GitHub to Slack maybe as with the webhook, and then we always know which one is taking which project. And I'm doing issue management development right now. Issues you can add a tag for example bug, or implement or develop, or won't fix, or with the status. So, and also I want to ask we're gonna use some we're gonna use the main language is gonna be Rails.
Yeah, for the back end.
Oh, the front end is a pure JavaScript or something, because I haven't looked at the code yet. So
yeah. So Rails is a full stack framework, right? So yeah, we can. It's HTML, CSS, JavaScript on the front end. I actually have it set up already, so we can use React. Because I knew you were working on React, so we can actually implement React on the front end if you want to do that. Maybe that could be one of your ways to practice React and get better. So it's already set up. It already has. I'm using Webpacker, so I got Webpacker on there. So you can use ES6 syntax. We can use the latest JavaScript. Everything's going to be compiled into usable with. Pre-compiling. Anyways, so yeah, you can do that. So anything you want to do on the front end, we can do. I've been starting to kind of look into Vue.js too, but I figured since I would kind of focus more on the back end and maybe other, I knew you were interested in the front end. So, so I went with React because I thought that's kind of what you were working on. So,
and also I would like to use some a code rules. For example, Airbnb has own rules of how to code. Google has a different one, or standard JS is kind of popular for writing JavaScript.
Yeah.
So I think working as a team in a remote different places, we should have some common rules like
yeah, I really like the Airbnb style guide stuff. So we can definitely implement that. That's a great idea. I think we should probably do that right in the beginning, so we can get off to a good start.
So what is good about like Airbnb style code? Because I'm not really sure.
Yeah, honestly, the only reason I know is because it's super popular, and I see it in a lot of projects. So I'm kind of going off that, and the fact that Airbnb is like one of my favorite websites ever. Honestly, I don't have any more opinion about it other than that. That's really it. So we can play with it if you have something better, definitely suggest it. But I do like that idea of the Airbnb. Kind of keep our code nice and clean. I use for Rails, typically I use Rubocop, which is for Ruby, really kind of helps us keep our it looks like
we're losing Amanda.
I think we're going to lose everybody because we're about to hit our limit.
Oh, there is a limit of using.
Oh, you know what? We can. Yes, because I have a free account.
Oh.
They just because this is my first time running the meeting on here for Zoom. They've actually give me a free unlimited meeting today, so I just accepted. So we're not going to get cut off, which is good. But yeah, I'm going to have to go to either a pro account or we'll have to keep our meetings more succinct. Which honestly, I like the idea of just keeping our meetings under 40 minutes because that way we can get to work.
Yeah.
And we can always talk more on Slack or, we can kind of keep communicating. I was thinking maybe we should put up a Slack channel specifically for the website project too. That way we can keep it organized. Okay. So basically kind of follow a bit of an agile philosophy, we'll just get things done and change them as we need to and just communicate a lot and try to keep on the same plan. And hopefully we can even do some pair programming or something, sometime, especially with those of us that are on the same time zones. That'd be really fun. So I want to just kind of follow or continue on with this little list here and just finish up here with some of the success factors that I was thinking about. And one of them was definitely code reviews. I think that's going to help. It's something that I haven't had a lot of experience with because I've always kind of been solo. So now that I'm with, I'm working on this project with Chris Oliver from GoRails. This will be one of my first opportunities for someone that's way senior than me to be able to review my code. So that's going to be cool. And I think for us, even if it's two newer developers looking at each other's code and picking out little, things, making sure we're following the style guide and everything, I think will be really good. Constant and open communication. I think that's going to be a huge success factor that we can over communicate, instead of if we have questions or figuring out what we need to do, just kind of assuming that people don't know what we're talking about is going to be good too. And then of course, continuous deployment of code. Just keep on, deploying code and trying to get our good code and trying to get this site built as fast as possible. But so it's good. And then and I'd like to do weekly video meetings if we can. And even if it's just a real short 15, 20 minute video or a little chat, like a Zoom and kind of almost like a daily stand up, but a weekly stand up where we can talk about what we did last week, what we're going to do this next week, and anything that's standing in our way. So if I'm I'm waiting on, Meaty to build this view for me so I can do this other stuff, that kind of stuff. Or if you're hey, Scott hasn't built this this model yet, so it's hard to implement anything. I'll be oh, okay, I'll get on that. So I think that'd be important to do. But yeah, so yeah, getting started, that's going to be the hard part, right? Just like getting this going and making sure we all get into GitHub. But did you have anything to add? Anything else that I really like your idea of doing the style guide. And then you were mentioning like connecting GitHub and Slack. I'm not sure how to do that.
It's pretty like a common, I don't know if just in Japan or not, but we always like make a project on the GitHub, and then all of the members are always see Slack, you know, like which person is like develops which project, and then we always following like what's going on. And we like I haven't used like the project feature of the GitHub yet, but I'm not really sure like what we can do with the project, like a Kanban management kind of.
Yeah, we can. It's like Kanban management, but it's like very limited. It's it'll say who created a card, so you can create. Right now, I have it where it's like we have a backlog. Well, here I'll show you. So on my screen here, go to projects, Millspouse Coders, and you're going to see here, like I have a backlog that I've already set up, that I've got started just with some like basic things. Mm-hmm. You got the current sprint, whatever we're doing for that week. Anything that's in progress. So basically when you're actually working on something, you throw it in progress. Awaiting approval would be basically like awaiting the code review. And then done. So it's done. So the limit is that while I can create a card, like for example, as a user, I can view all the Millspouse Coders events around the world. I can't put it's hard to put a lot of information in there. And I don't think you can put like images or anything like you could do with Trello. So we can try this. If it's too complicated or if it just doesn't have enough, we can always use Trello. I really like Trello. I was just trying to limit the amount of, technology that we had to use. I was just kind of trying to keep everything isolated into one spot, but that has pros and cons. So whatever you want to do.
How do you use issues?
So right now I only have a few in here, but the cool part is like, okay, so I have like the create event index view. I have like, just now it's got like a help wanted label. I'm just putting like a generic labels. I was just trying to get this started. So anybody can feel free to go change. But the nice thing here is I can actually add this to a project. For example, I can add it to the project here. And then if I go to projects now, it's going to show up here to add card. And then here I can actually add these cards and I can just pull it over to wherever I'm doing. And then that way you have the the card associated. Oops, I don't want to. You are not done. Oh, you know what? I think I got to remove it. Let me just remove it from project right now. So then we can associate the actual issue with the board. So that's one way to do it. Yeah, I kind of like it, and I think I haven't seen a lot of people use GitHub projects. I've noticed it on a couple of the repositories that I have looked at. So I've been trying to get some more ideas.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's kind of new. I don't know how long it's been there. I just haven't used it much. So. What do you think? You think that'll work?
Yeah, I think that'll work. And so we have we discussed about like what's gonna be like an issue for like next week?
Yeah, no. So like, you talking about like what we're gonna try to tackle like in the current sprint or in the week sprint?
Yeah. Like what we actually doing like for the next?
Yeah. So I think that's usually what our meetings are going to be about. Like we'll probably have to do we'll have to combine, like it'll be like almost like a weekly stand up and like a weekly, like what the heck are we going to do for the next week? We can do that right now, just between the two of us if you want. Or we can kind of communicate on Slack a little bit and get Amanda involved as well. I don't know if she might not, she's like out camping right now in the woods. So I know they're mountain climbing and stuff. So or rock climbing. So I'm surprised she was even able to get on here, but yeah, we could definitely just start adding issues and just pull what you think we should have. Maybe just pull the things that you think, create an issue if it needs to have an issue, if it doesn't have one. And then we could just kind of do it kind of ad hoc at first, like just pull the issues into the sprint that you think you can finish in the next week.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so if you like, oh, I can do like the homepage view, or I can do an events view. Like if there's already an issue submitted, like just say, hey, I'm taking care of this or whatever. And then we can pull it on the board. We can just pull it to current sprint. And then as you're doing it, and then we can get better as we go on. We can get more organized.
Yeah.
But I think
so
right now.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you said like by 1st of October we're gonna like develop like the one big feature to the website, right? So we're gonna use 4 weeks, can I like divide my task into four parts, and then I just do one part like by week, or so sometimes like a week it's gonna be really busy for me, so I cannot even do anything. So
yeah.
How like do we have to do like one thing every week, or we can like manage our task like by ourselves and then
yeah manage the task by yourself, because I'm hoping it's not just the three of us working on this either. I'm hoping that more people want to get involved. So I think what's important is for us to have what we need written down, and that's why I think it's almost like we should kind of self-manage. So if basically, okay, so this is my idea. This is how I'm thinking of it. There's a list of backlog items, things that need to be done. And then, so you as a contributor can go into that backlog and be like, okay, I can do this. Or like maybe like, so you think of a current sprint as like, I was thinking like 1 week sprints, because we could probably meet once a week. We could even do 2 weeks if it becomes too crazy. But yeah, so I was thinking you just manage yourself. So you're like, okay, I think I can do this, and this week. And then so you pull it into the current sprint. And then as you're actually working on something, you pull it into in progress. So you're like, hey, I am working on this. And then, and people just kind of do that. And then if it gets out of hand, we can adjust.
Okay.
But I'm just thinking we all are kind of doing this as like a side project. It's not our full-time job. So I just want to make it as easy for people to contribute as possible. So I don't want people to feel like, oh, I pulled this stuff into the sprint, now I can't do it. If you can't do it, just say, hey, I can't do it, or like, hey, I'm not going to have time for this, or whatever. So
right.
We'll just do the best we can. So it's more about like, okay. I want people to feel like welcome to like contribute, and I don't want it to be too structured. I want our code to be structured, and that's why I think the style guides and things, I want the code to be good. I want the code reviews, but as far as like who does what, hey, if you can do it, do it. If you like, I want to tackle this, I want to tackle this, I want to do this. The other thing that's going to be a challenge is that we don't really have a design.
Oh.
So
Can I see the website again?
Oh yeah. So it shouldn't look like this, but here's here's what we have currently. Tuan really doesn't like it. It's really outdated. It was just kind of built off of a generic kind of template. So
you're using template for that?
I think this one's a template. Yeah, I think this is probably like it's a bootstrap. It's probably a bootstrap template. So I would suggest this. This is my idea. If you don't like it, we can do something different. I'm not exactly sure. I should have asked Amanda, but I'm not sure if she wants to work on both the front end, the back end, if she wants to work on, I don't know what she wants to do. If she wants to do one or the other or both. I know you are a front end engineer.
Yeah.
I would, if you don't mind, I would like you to kind of be the lead on the front end.
Oh. Yeah.
And so like if people so basically I don't think Toanne has a problem with it. If she does, we can ask, but I would almost give you like, if you want, like kind of the free reign on how the front end gets developed and how it looks. And then I could basically be the back end. And then, so I could that would be mostly, I would make the decisions on the back end. And then you could help on the front end. I don't know how your design skills are. If you have good design skills and you want to design, then
design, you mean like user experience or like
yeah,
user
like the
interface?
actually designing the UI and the UX and all that. I have some experience in it. I mean, I've studied a bit, so I can definitely give some input there. But I'm not sure if we want to see if we can find somebody that would contribute and actually do a design for us. Like maybe do up a PDF or a Photoshop or something like that.
Yeah.
It might be nice to at least do some sketches so we have an idea and we can all kind of agree on something. But yeah, this is things we have to talk about. And
hey, I want to know, like, this, like, to develop this website is like, the purpose of this, to create this website is not only to just develop this website, right? Like for example, I'm interested in like Rails because I haven't like really used Ruby on Rails, so I want to know like how to, use that. And also, like a weekly meeting, like I want to know like how you develop and then why you use that, method or whatever. So, and also like React.js, like I assume like a lot of engineers like recently use React.js, but maybe there are some who haven't like used React.js. So I would like to maybe teach, but like I want to like stimulate each other.
Yeah. So a big part of our plan and the ideas, and a lot of these are like ideas in my head, and I think Toanne and I agree on a lot of these parts, is I also want this to be a teaching platform. So I would love, and I know Toanne would love, the more we can document what we're doing, blog about what we're doing, and invite even brand new people that have never, once they like kind of get some basic HTML and CSS, I would love for this to be like a site that people can contribute to and learn from. And if you can do some live code or like some coding videos or talk about how you did, like maybe how you implemented a certain feature in this website, it would be great. And it's also going to be open source. So if other organizations wanted to take what we've built, they could use it. And I think Tuan and I are a lot of our conversations, we're very transparent in like what we're trying to do and what we're building and how we're doing it. So I want to make sure that that's kind of part of the website too. Hey, buddy. My son's right here. Want to say hi?
Oh. Hi.
So yeah, so definitely like if that kind of what you're kind of suggesting, kind of help each other and stimulate each other, like if I want to
want to.
Oh, okay.
Eat that.
All right.
Yeah. We support each other, like to learn each other, and also, I would like to know, like military support quarters are not only for them, right? Like it's gonna be open source. It's not like the community is not limited. Like I don't know. Like I was thinking about I've heard like in Kadena Air Base in Okinawa, there are some web development small jobs that like the small company or like institute on base need. So I thought like it would be great, like because like they only military related people can get the job because they have the right so I thought we're gonna teach and stimulate each other and then be more creative, and then we can take the job from the base or the government. So I want to make it be more like profitable in the future. So military supports are traveling all over the world in every few years. So when you get like some like totally like unknown like a strange place, but you can always get the project or like actually making some money even though you're in like different places. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's like a big part of what Toan wants for Mill Spouse coders is that we want to get this as it's like a training platform at first, but the other part of it is getting people to make money, because that's a big problem, right?
Yeah.
And they say by 2020 there's supposed to be like 1 million some unfilled programming jobs. And look at how many military spouses are unemployed. I think it's like 60%. So
really?
Yeah, like 60% of military spouses are unemployed. And if we can I think this is a great way to like try to bridge that gap and like try to like fill up some of those holes in the development. So one of the things is that hopefully in the future with this site too, it's a way for us to kind of like connect, like maybe get like contract work, like government contracting work and stuff like that military spouses, like part of the organization, can do. And that way there's like a path, right? There's like, hey, learn how to program and now do projects that military spouse coders provides. So hey, you gotta sit and be good, okay? Sorry, he's antsy. So I think let's go ahead and like kind of get into GitHub a little bit, start maybe thinking about some issues we can put, ideas that you have. We can base a lot of it initially off the current site, like so we can know like what pages we need, what tabs and all that kind of stuff in there we can kind of work out, and we can just communicate on Zoom, or on Slack, and just kind of finish this conversation a little bit there, and hopefully start building something this week. And of course, like if you get busy, that's fine, but hopefully we can get some more people involved too, so we can have more people contributing to it. And we'll just roll with the punches. I'm sure there's going to be like issues and stuff. I just want, like, I think number one is I want people to feel comfortable contributing to this project. And then if you want to work, if you want to work on the back end, if you want some information, if you want to learn more about the code base, I don't know, like we're just gonna have to figure out a way to help teach each other. And I don't know what the best way to do that right now is. Maybe some like some one-on-one type of like coding sessions where we can get together and like code a little bit, or we can even just like, maybe I could run you through the back end and like what goes where and what files do what, and kind of where to put your front end code, really, so you can do it yourself, because it's going to be important for you to know where to put all that stuff. And then of course on the front end, I'm gonna have lots of stuff that I want to work with and play with too, so that way we can learn from each other. But Yeah, I think I probably got to end here just because he's my guy Axel here is getting a little antsy, right? So he wants to learn some code too.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. How old is he?
He's 3. He's about to be 4. He'll be 4 pretty soon.
Oh,
coming up here in September. So, or the end of the month. My goodness, it's your birthday month. So, well, anyways, do you have anything else that you want to talk about today, or you want to go over?
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
It's nice meeting you. I mean, I think I will start like connecting Slack and GitHub first, and maybe we should like made our project Slack team, Slack channel.
I'll go ahead and do that right away.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Oh yeah, I need you to invite me to the GitHub project, and I will look through the code first, and then I will just connect the Slack and the GitHub.
Perfect. That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be really great. It was a pleasure meeting you, and I'm looking forward to working with you on this project. So, and,
thank you very much. We will see you next week. Weekend?
I think we'll do a weekend or a meeting next. Oh no, I will not be available next weekend. Most likely, maybe I will. We'll see, but not on Sunday for sure. I'm going to Tokyo next weekend, and I have I do jiu-jitsu, and there's a big international competition there that I'm competing at. So I know on Sunday I'm actually competing on Sunday, so it'll be almost impossible for me to meet. But maybe we can get together, Friday night or Saturday or something like that.
Okay.
It might work out.
Good.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna end this call, and we'll talk more on Slack. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Say bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Grumpy pants.